guys, welcome to week 4 postpartum. I am I am sick, but I am actually doing this 2 days after Forrest has turned 4 weeks because I've been traveling, and so I was traveling the day he turned 4 weeks, and then I landed. And it was pandemonium because I landed, and that same day I had to go straight for a fitting, and then that night at like 11 p.m. I had another fitting for the Golden Globes, and then yesterday was the Golden Globes all day, and then we were staying in a hotel. So we woke up this morning and took Bodhi to preschool, and then I went to my first Mummy and Me group, and it's literally been non-stop. Like my house is appalling. I don't even want to show you down there. So I haven't unpacked, haven't done anything like that yet, and I'm really run down. I'm really tired, very jet lagged. We're all jet lagged. None of us are really sleeping that well, although Forrest is probably the one that's sleeping the best. And I think that, I don't know, it's like his body clock, it just so easily adjusted to the time difference. Somehow it was pretty miraculous, actually, the amount of sleep that he got last night, but Bodhi was not getting any sleep, so we ended up being awake a lot last night. And then today's like day 6 of me being sick, and day 5 and day 4 it felt like I was getting better, and then today I woke up and I was like, oh no, I'm so sick. But I just had a bath, and that was my me time, and I actually feel so much better just from having a bath. And one of the things that I wrote about today is that something that I'm learning to do, which I think is really integral as a mum and just as a person in general, is just liberating ourselves from the pressure to be perfect and get everything right and get everything done and be that super mum. I think we definitely have a lot of that pressure that we put on ourselves, and it's both societal, but mainly I think our own pressure. You know, we try to be good enough, we try to be the best, and we try and, you know, we have a to-do list, and we have to tick everything off the to-do list and do it in such a way. And some people are a lot better at that, like the more casual, the more relaxed. I'm definitely a very type A personality. So for instance, I wanted today to get all of the unpacking done. I was like, all right, I'll pick up Bodhi from school, I'll come back, he'll go to sleep, and then I'll unpack everything from our trip. And we have 6 suitcases worth of stuff. But then I got home and I was so exhausted. I ended up having a 2.5 hour nap with Bodhi and Forrest, who happened to sleep, thank God, during that time. And then I woke up feeling ghastly and really unmotivated to unpack. And instead I wrote my blog post, and then I just hung out with the kids. I literally just sat on the bed with them, and we talked about different teddy bears that were on the bed and introduced them to Forrest, and just had that really nice time. And I realized that this time is so beautiful and so effective, and I don't have to be doing stuff. So that's kind of been the theme of this week. I mean, it's been so non-stop for me. We had Cassandra's wedding, who's the manager of Your Zen Life, and I was the maid of honor, so there was a lot that went into that. And then that was on Friday night, and we left the next morning at 6:20 a.m. So we had the wedding. I didn't want to leave early from the wedding because this is one of my best friend's weddings. So we stayed to like 11, got home, still hadn't fully packed yet, packed until 1:30, and then we were up at 4. And for one of those hours, Forrest was awake. He had some gas issues. So we were exhausted, and then we got to the airport on time. And then what happened was the woman checking us in entered my wrong visa into the system, entered a visa that was expired instead of the new visa. And it basically, the whole system shut down. They couldn't override the system to enter in the new visa number. So it took a full hour to rectify. And we ended up missing our flight. And you know, right at the last minute, they're like, oh, the baby needs an ESTA visa. So we're like furiously trying to get an ESTA visa. We'd been told he didn't need one because my husband was American. So we're furiously trying to get this ESTA visa, and then we've also chewed up all this other time because the system was failing, and it was just like one thing after the next. And I have the baby on me, and he's fussing, and I have him in the carrier, and I'm patting him, and then Bodhi's exhausted, and he wanted to be in my arms asleep. So I had like both kids on me, looking at the time, knowing we were gonna miss our flight. And then I was getting so anxious, and Mark and I were both existing on 2 hours sleep, and I was getting so anxious because I knew we had the Golden Globes to get back to, as well as just life in general back here. And I just decided to let go of the anxiety of the idea that we were going to miss our flight. So I just kind of walked away from the situation and let Mark kind of deal with it and try and get us on this flight. And then eventually there was 5 minutes until the flight was supposed to leave, and the flight was already closed. And then I see Mark like running through security, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna make it. And then so I'm running, literally running with Bodhi in my arm, and I have the baby carrier on me, and I'm running, and we're bouncing along, and we like run up to the gate. Oh, I can hear my baby. We run up to the gate. He's with Mark, and then we see like there's all these amazing flight attendants who are trying to help us to get us on the flight, and then we just see like the plane like backing out, and we just watch it fly away, and we just knew like, all right, we missed our flight, and we had to just get on the next flight. But it was pandemonium, and Mark looked like he was about to cry, so we decided to take that situation and kind of flip it. We're like, all right, what's the lesson in this? There's a reason why this happened, and maybe it's because at the start of the year, you know, it's a beautiful lesson to have about letting go of control and just embracing whatever happens. And I thought it was such a beautiful reminder of parenthood, and not everything has to be lined up so perfectly in a row. I mean, it can be messy, and that's the beauty of parenting. And in that situation, all we could do was say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We've missed our flight. We'll get another flight. If we get another flight, great. If I miss the Golden Globes, it is what it is. But we're together, and let's turn this into an adventure and somehow have fun with this. And I actually ended up being really grateful for the experience, and it made the rest of the day, which was just like a series of so many funny errors, actually seemed quite okay. And you know, we weren't sitting together on the plane, and no one had any food, and there was just like one thing after the next. We were having to sprint to get to our next flights as well, because the time in between was so short, and it was just just out of a movie, you know, all the things that could go wrong went wrong. And but there was a gift in that, so that was my lesson. And then this week with Forrest, he's been so beautiful, such a big boy. He weighs 11.1 now pounds, and we've got this thing called the Snoo. It's amazing. I'll show you a video. I'll add the video, and that's been helping us get more sleep. So today we used it for the nap, and he slept for 2.5 hours. And then the first night we got in, he used it and loved it. And so it just like literally rocks him like this. If he starts to fuss, it'll rock a little bit more, and it has a beautiful movement to it. It has white noise as well, and it's from the people who did the Happiest Baby on the Block book. And yeah, so we just saw it online, and then we ended up buying it before we left, and this is the first time we've used it, and it really is amazing. So that's been great, and that's a big tip. It's quite expensive though, that's the only downfall. But I wonder if you might be able to get secondhand ones already. I'm not sure, maybe you should check eBay. But yeah, so that's been great. And then the Golden Globes was amazing. I had the best time, even though I was so nervous to go because I wasn't allowed to bring my husband. They didn't have a ticket for him, so I had to go solo. And I was really nervous about it because I felt like I wouldn't know anyone. I didn't get to sit with the Hacksaw Ridge group, my movie that was nominated for Best Picture. I had to sit on a different table, but then they were like, well, Amy Schumer's on your table, and Jonah Hill and Goldie Hawn and all these amazing people who I don't know, but I'm huge fans of their work. So I was like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna try and, you know, connect with these people who I don't know, but I admire their work so much. And I ended up having such a nice night, and I'm really glad that I went. I was feeling so apprehensive about it because I've just been in this mum world for so long, and then all of a sudden it's getting dressed for the Golden Globes and hair and makeup and what designer are you gonna wear and doing the red carpet, and I didn't feel like I was ready to go back to that yet, but I knew it was a good opportunity, and I really wanted to be there to represent my movie. So I did that, and I ended up, I'm so glad I did it because I ended up having a really nice night. And I just booked a hotel room in the place where they had the Golden Globes, and I would just go up and breastfeed, and Mark was up there with the other board with Isaac and Bodhi, and so we ended up having a really good time. So I'm so glad. I'm definitely gonna look after myself better this week. I need some more rest. I need to get healthy, replenish myself with nutrition, and just remember I'm doing a good enough job. And the house is a bit messy, but that's okay. My kids are happy, and I'm happy, and that's all that matters. So, all right, guys. Well, lots of love. Look, I'm drinking my ice water. Yeah. Okay. I will talk to you next week. All right. Bye.